What's up guys, Saf here on SuperSaf TV, and today we're going to be talking about an important update that's come to the new iPhones for video. Now you guys have heard me say many times before that the iPhone 11 Pro and Pro Max have the best video on any smartphone right now in my opinion. We've got very consistent video with great dynamic range, up to 4K 60 frames a second across all cameras. So front facing, the ultra wide, the primary, as well as the telephoto. Now you may remember that during the keynote of the iPhones, we did have a presentation from FiLMiC Pro, and they demonstrated an upcoming feature which would allow you to record from multiple cameras on the iPhone at the same time simultaneously. Now the good news is that this new app, which is a standalone app called DoubleTake, is now available on the Apple App Store, and I've had a chance to play around with it. And in this video, we'll be going over how it works, what you can do, the use cases, and also my opinions. Now, the way DoubleTake by FiLMiC Pro works is very straightforward. You can actually see live feeds from all four of the cameras on your iPhone, and then you can select your A and B cam. So, for instance, if we want to select the ultra wide as well as the wide, you can do that, or you can have the front-facing camera and the ultra wide, and it's going to record two of those cameras at the same time. Once you've made your selection, you can confirm. And then we have three different modes for shooting. You have discrete mode, which is actually going to record two separate independent video files, which you can then edit later. And then you have picture-in-picture mode, which is pretty self-explanatory. You're going to have your A cam and then you're going to have your B cam overlaying the A cam footage, and this is all going to be baked into a single file. You can also move the B cam window around, and this animation is also going to be recorded. You can slide it off if you feel like you don't want to use it anymore, and you can also slide it back if you need. And then we've got split screen mode, which I think is my favorite. This is quite similar to the SuperSaf style side-by-side comparisons that you have. It's literally going to split the screen in half, and then you're going to have the two cameras from there recording at the same time in one video file. Now, one thing to definitely note is that the max resolution is at 1080p, and you can film at 24, 25, and 30 frames a second. So we don't have 4K 60 frames a second. Now, I kind of get why this is. You are working with a lot of data, especially when it's coming in from two separate cameras. So I'm assuming this is why we max out at 1080p, although the bit rate from each camera is going to be around 32 megabits a second. Now, maybe with future iPhones that have the A14 Bionic, we're going to be able to get two streams at 4K 60 frames a second, which would be pretty dope. But at this point in time, this app only supports 1080p at up to 30 frames a second. Now, what are the use cases for recording from two cameras at the same time? Well, of course, it's going to allow you a lot more flexibility. If you're in discrete mode, you're going to be able to cut later on. If there's a cut point that you need and you want to switch angles, you're going to be able to do this all with the one camera. The split screen mode is something that I personally find quite interesting. It's going to allow you to have two completely different perspectives. So you can potentially have the ultra wide as well as the telephoto, which are very different lenses. So you can get the close up as well as a wider shot, which puts everything into context. This can also be used for things like interviews, so you can have one camera facing you, the front-facing camera, the rear-facing camera facing your subject. And what I really like about the DoubleTake app is that you can film horizontally as well as vertically, and this opens up a lot of possibilities for Instagram stories. If you want to speak to your audience directly, for example, you can use the front-facing camera on one of the screens, and then you can use the rear-facing camera to show what you're seeing. Here's a quick test. Picture I'm doing an unboxing. You can see me on here, but you can also see what I'm unboxing on this side. Pretty cool. Picture-in-picture mode, I'm sure is going to be useful for a lot of people. I personally can't see myself using it too much, but again, if you want to put things into context, but also kind of have a floating head around, you can have that. And I think that this, for maybe journalists who are out and about and want to capture things and immediately share them straight away without having to take them away for post-editing, can have both of those cameras active at the same time, and that's going to be quite useful. Now, the DoubleTake app is available from today, and it's free on the App Store, so you can go ahead and download it and test it out. You do need iOS 13 or later, and it's going to work on some of the older iPhones as well, although it's going to be most optimized and performing best on the new iPhone 11s, which do have the A13 Bionic chip. Definitely let me know what you think of the DoubleTake app from FiLMiC Pro. Is it something that you can see yourself using? I'm really interested to see what people do with it. And there's of course a lot of potential. I'm excited to test it out more myself as well. I hope you enjoyed this quick summary video and found it useful. If you did, then do hit that thumbs up button for me. And if you haven't already and you want to see more videos like this, then be sure to subscribe and hit that bell icon so you don't miss any coverage. Thanks for watching. This is Saf on SuperSaf TV, and I'll see you next time.